Hello everyone, Tausif here. I'm back with another live stream and I'm going to be talking about DNC, the Democratic National Convention that's taking place this week in Chicago, Illinois. And I'm starting this live stream at 11:35 p.m., so it's late. And not sure how many of you are going to be joining, but as you are tuning in, please introduce yourself in the chat window. Write your first name if you want to, it's up to you. And as I always request people, please write your city and state, what city you're joining from, what state you're tuning in from. And so, my friends, let me go into the discussion. Politics has twists and turns. I think we know that. I have been involved in politics for many years, so I definitely understand that politics is full of twists and turns. And so, I understand that. Many of you understand that as well. Joe Biden surely understands that quite well by now. After spending decades in Washington politics, Biden, I'm sure he was looking forward to the DNC in Chicago. And I think he was hoping that he would see people cheer for him for re-election. Right, because he was running for re-election. Joe Biden is currently in his first term as the US president, and he was running to be re-elected to a second term. However, that changed entirely as pressure kept coming for Joe Biden to drop out of the presidential race. Going back to what I said at the very beginning, that politics has twists and turns. From being the front runner and clearly what seemed to be at the time that Joe Biden's the nominee to run for re-election, it all changed after the debate between Trump and Joe Biden, Donald Trump and Joe Biden. They had a debate in June. I remember that clearly. A debate in June, and that changed everything. Joe Biden faced tremendous pressure from within his party as people asked Biden to drop out of the presidential race. And now, at the DNC, at the Democratic National Convention, taking place in Chicago, in Illinois, at the DNC, Joe Biden appeared not as the Democrat presidential nominee, but as an outgoing president. One-term president, Joe Biden. Somebody is asking me in the chat window, what is... Oh, I can't understand your question. Anyway, please state your question clearly so I can answer that. By the way, I do encourage questions. Ask me questions. Thomas Robertson says hi. Hello, Thomas. Thank you for tuning in. For anyone who's tuning in for the first time, if you have any interest in politics, if you pay attention to politics, if you pay attention to how government's working, what's happening in society, if those are your interests, then you are in the right place, my friends. My channel is about social and political issues, both domestic and international. Domestic and international. There's a lot happening in our country, domestic, and there's a lot happening around the world, international. Today I'm talking about domestic issues. I'm talking about our presidential election, the race for the White House, and in particular, DOG, right? DOG, is that the name? DOG asks, what's the topic this evening? The topic is the DNC, the Democrat National Convention. And there's so much to discuss, so please don't go anywhere. Stay with me. I have things I want to say, and I want to hear from you also, okay? When I am starting this live stream at 11:35, well, now it's 11:41. I think I started it at 11:35. When I start a live stream at 11:35 p.m. Central Time, which is my time zone because I'm in Wisconsin, you know that I have a lot to talk about because I don't usually start my live streams this late. I do them earlier in the evening. I mean, still late, 9, 9:30, 10 p.m., but never past 11:30 p.m. I have so much to share that I just couldn't, go to bed and lie down and sleep. I said, you know what, I've got things on my mind that I need to share. There's a lot happening in the country, a lot happening in the political world, and so I'm going to do a live stream. So I'm glad many of you are here. Thank you so much. Badger Den, so wonderful to see you here, Badger Den. Badger Den writes, hello, Tassif. Hello, Badger Den. Thank you for joining. Laura Floyd is here. Laura Floyd writes, hello. Hello, Laura. So wonderful to see you here. So Justin is here. Justin writes, Wisconsin RNC. So Justin, I'm guessing you're referring to the Republican National Convention that took place in Wisconsin, right? That's wonderful. Laura says, tell us more. I am here to share what's on my mind, Laura, and I want to hear from you all. So please tune in. And for anyone who's here on my channel for the first time, please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button and stay connected. Let me look at the chat window here. Am I missing comments? Okay. Somebody writes, what's your favorite Ben and Jerry's flavor? I don't eat ice cream a whole lot, and when I do, there's wonderful Babcock ice cream here in Wisconsin, in Madison, Wisconsin. You should look it up. UW-Madison campus, Babcock ice cream. That's really good, okay? So that's my favorite, Babcock ice cream. Look it up. It's wonderful. Locally made. So as I was saying, by the way, my favorite flavor, I'm very usual basic flavor, vanilla. I like, with maybe pecans or cashews. Strawberry flavor is also very good. Okay, you can let me know what your favorite flavor is. Laura writes, I was heading to sleep, but I want to hear what you have to say. Well, thank you, Laura. So I'm going to continue with the conversation. So Joe Biden, just a couple months ago, he was running for re-election, and at the time, I think Joe Biden was thinking that at the DNC, he's going to be appearing in front of people as the Democrat nominee for president, running against the Republican nominee, Donald Trump, and that changed. That changed. And now at the DNC, Joe Biden is appearing not as the Democrat presidential nominee, but as an outgoing president, just a one-term president. One-term president Joe Biden. By saying that he won't run again, he is now the outgoing president. He is no longer in the limelight. He may be up on a stage at the DNC addressing people, addressing the delegates and the guests and the political party activists and the volunteers and other people, thousands of people there. I don't know how many thousands, but thousands. But Joe Biden is no longer in the limelight. The focus has now shifted to Kamala Harris. Biden is still in office. He is the president, but the focus has shifted away from Biden and to Kamala Harris. Biden's presidency has faded, and all that the Democrats can now see is the shining nomination that Kamala Harris received. Okay? So Democrat leaders, the officials, the party staff, the activists, and the strategists, and the delegates, and donors from all over the country, they are in Chicago. And for what reason, actually? Why are all these people in Chicago? To participate in Joe Biden's farewell party? Do you think it's a farewell party? Do you think it's Joe Biden's farewell party? This gathering that's taking place in Chicago. Because Joe Biden's on his way out the door. His term ends in January. So this big gathering in Chicago, known as the DNC, the Democrat National Convention, is it actually a farewell celebration for Joe Biden? I'll let you answer that. This convention is really a grand farewell party for Joe Biden. This convention is a grand announcement that the Biden presidency is only one term. A term that is scheduled to end in January of 2025. So a grand farewell party for Joe Biden. That's what it looks like. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Laura writes, very good point, farewell to Biden. Laura, farewell to Biden. But the sad thing, the reality is that the Biden-Harris administration has caused tremendous damage to our economy. Vincent writes, the DNC was so hard to watch. And Badger Den writes, I watched only about 30 minutes of it on Monday. I was getting sick to my stomach watching it. You know, I've been staying so busy this week, I really haven't watched it. Yes, I am watching the news updates. I'm trying to get all the highlights and the information about what's going on, but I can't sit and watch it. So Badger, then I completely understand what you're saying, that you watched it for 30 minutes and then you were getting sick to your stomach. I don't plan to sit and watch all the speeches. I just don't. Okay? Because I'm going to hear so many lies that I'm not going to watch it. Okay? Let me see some other comments here. Okay, I see a lot of new viewers. Thank you everyone for joining. It's always wonderful to see, wonderful to see my friends who have been watching my channel for a long time. Laura Floyd, Badger Den. It's wonderful to see you here, and also great to see all the other new viewers who are watching for the first time. So as you are tuning in, please subscribe so that you can get notification about future videos that I do. I have not, my conversation is not over yet. I have more things to share, but as I move forward, I like to pause and look at the chat window. So thanks everyone for joining. So a lot of attendees at this convention, at the DNC, they seem to be in festive mood. Of course, they are there to conduct the official business of the convention. Oh, what an important convention it is. They're going to do the official business of the convention. But it seems that the Democrats are in Chicago to celebrate, to have fun. Well, what is it that the Democrats are celebrating, and why exactly are they having fun? Let me tell you, my friends, there's nothing for the Democrats to celebrate. There's nothing to celebrate. First of all, the Democratic presidential candidate who won the Democratic primary was pushed out of the race by the party. Of course, Biden decided to exit on his own, but we know the reality that he was compelled to exit. He was compelled to exit. James writes, the DNC was extremely hard to watch, almost like a party. Exactly, James. What kind of a party is it? As I'm saying, there's really nothing to celebrate, no reason to be happy, because our economy is a complete mess right now. So, as I was saying, of course, Biden decided to exit on his own, but we know the reality that he was compelled to exit. And after Biden left the race, the Democrats, they put forward a candidate, Kamala Harris, who, let me tell you, who failed as the border czar. Kamala Harris was named the border czar. And what exactly did she do as the border czar? The border is a complete mess right now, the southern border. People are pouring into the country. 10 plus million illegal immigrants have entered the country since Joe Biden came to office. And so, what did she exactly do as the border czar? As I understand, the border czar is supposed to solve the border crisis, protect the border. But what exactly did she do? Nothing. And she's a candidate who did not go through the Democrat presidential primary, so she is really not the candidate chosen by the Democrat voters in America. She is the person who the party elites, that's the word, party elites. Kamala Harris is the candidate that the party elites picked. The party elites decided who would be at the top of the ticket. They disregarded the will of the Democrat voters. And choosing Kamala Harris, this was not even a competitive process. Ideally, there should have been multiple candidates. Maybe like 3, 4, 5, 6 candidates running. There should have been town hall meetings. There should have been candidate forums. There should have been televised debates. So that the people could have some kind of an understanding as to what the choices are. But the people did not have a choice. The Democratic Party elites decided that Kamala Harris would be the nominee. They decided, and she's the nominee. Okay. So the party elites, the high-ranking Democrat officials, the party leaders, they decided that Kamala Harris would be the nominee, and so she's the nominee. And let me tell you, with Kamala Harris as the VP, she's the VP right now, we know that. With Kamala Harris as the VP, the Biden-Harris administration has a series of failures, long list of failures. Failures that have caused tremendous economic pain and suffering. Failures that have resulted in a shrinking middle class. Failures that have pushed lower income Americans towards poverty. And people who are already in poverty, they have been pushed deeper into extreme poverty because of the Biden-Harris administration and their failed policies. Economic woes, economic distress, economic pain and suffering are the signature of the Biden-Harris administration. How many times will I talk about this? I have been doing these live streams since January, I think. And how many times have I talked about inflation and high gas price and rising insurance premiums and high mortgage rates? I have been saying over and over and over again. I have been repeating this so many times. Inflation and border crisis, these may be the terms that I have probably used the most during these live streams. Because these are the realities we face, the harsh realities. We have a border inflation because of the Biden-Harris administration. Do you agree with me? If you do, just let me know in the chat window. Badgerden says, please hit the like button. Thank you. Thank you, Badgerden. I appreciate your support, Badgerden. I appreciate your support, Laura. I appreciate your support, each and every person who's here, who's watching me. And as I've always said, you don't have to agree with me. You are free to disagree with me. If you think I'm wrong, just tell me that I'm wrong. Express your views. I want this chat window of my live stream to be a place where people can share their thoughts. This is what's great about this country, my friends. And I strongly believe in it, that we are free to express our opinions, our views. I believe in having dialogue. I live in a very blue city. I live in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm a conservative. I'm a Republican. But I live in Madison, Wisconsin, which is a very, very blue city. Dane County, the county that I live in, is a very, very blue county. By blue, I mean liberal. More Democrats, way more Democrats than Republicans. But it doesn't bother me. You know why? Because I believe in having dialogue. I know many Democrats here, people who live in the same city as I do. They know me, I know them. They don't agree with me, I don't agree with them. But we can always be nice to each other. We can talk about issues, we can disagree. And that's what makes America great. And so, my friends, please always share with me your thoughts. I have more things I want to discuss, but I just want to emphasize that because I know a lot of you are new here, maybe watching this for the first time. I'm a solid conservative, looking forward to voting for Donald Trump. I voted for Trump in 2016, voted for him in 2020. I'm going to vote for him again in 2024, this year in November. And so that's me. But whether you agree or disagree with me, please share your thoughts. Okay, let's keep this dialogue going. And so, inflation, high gas price, rising insurance premiums, high mortgage rates. These are the problems that we face today because of the Biden-Harris administration and their policies. At each and every step, consumers like yourself, consumers like me, consumers like my neighbors, consumers like the Wisconsinites The people in my state, at each and every step, consumers are running into problems when they look at price tags of food items, of grocery items, when they look at the price tag of essential goods and services. They feel the pain. They feel the pain. There's growing hardship in this economy. I'm going to look at some comments, and then I have an observation that I want to share with you. There's something I saw that I want to share with you, okay? But before that, I'm going to look at the comments here. James writes, we've never had such a gap between the middle class and upper class. Yeah, I mean, the middle class is struggling enormously. James writes, you're not wrong. It's insane that this is acceptable. You know, what's happening in this country, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. The kind of economic problems that we have. There's a viewer whose name here is Weird Alien Loner. If you wanna give me your first name, I could address you with your first name. Otherwise, I'd have to say Weird Alien Loner. Yeah, feel free to write your first name so I can address you properly. So you're writing that. Okay, so you're saying that you're not really a fan of Trump, as I understand, but that you agree with me 100%, and you're saying that if we move forward with the Democrat Party, I foresee another depression. Yeah, I mean, people are talking about recession, whether we are in a recession or not. I think we are in a recession. I think we are, okay? And you're saying that if we move forward with the Democrat Party, then you foresee another depression. Yeah, we may I think we will be in a depression if the Democrats win the White House again. I think there's going to be a depression. And many people have that fear. It's not just me. Many people think that there's going to be a depression if Kamala Harris wins, because it's going to be an extension of the Biden-Harris administration. So it may be Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, but it's going to be Biden-Harris all over again, okay? Just with different names. You switch roles, the VP becomes the president, which I hope doesn't happen. I hope the Democrats lose this election, this presidential election. But Tim Walz, the Harris-Walz ticket, is going to be the same as the Biden-Harris ticket. It's just that it's going to be way worse, I think, from an economic policy standpoint. Let's see. Okay. So let me just tell you. I'm going to share an observation, something that I saw. So listen to this, and if you have similar observations, you can let me know. I was at an automobile service center. I was at an automobile service center because my vehicle needed an oil change and, tire rotation and all that, basic service. So after handing my car keys over to the service center staff, I came and sat down in the waiting area, okay? And my mother was with me. My mom was with me. So we were sitting in the waiting area at the service center. And I had my laptop with me because I know I had to wait for, they told me it would be, hour plus, hour 20 minutes. There was also a recall that they had to work on. So, they said hour plus maybe 20 more minutes. And so I was in the waiting area with my mom, and I had my laptop with me so I could get some work done. And my mother was also sitting there, and she was watching a video on her phone. So she had the earphones, and she was watching a video. And in that waiting area, there was a woman another customer who seemed to have a very tense conversation with one of the members of the service center staff. And the tense conversation was because of the price of a certain service at the service center. And the woman became very emotional while engaged in an argument which seemed a little heated, okay? Because the woman was, she was loud. And she was engaged in an argument, and she emphasized to the service center staff that she cannot afford the price tag, but that she really needed the service done. The conversation was loud enough for others in the waiting area to hear it. There were a couple other people there. I was sitting at a distance, but I could still hear what the woman was saying in that moment of frustration. Now, the price tag in question, it was not too high. It was not hundreds of dollars or $1,000. It was just a little over $100, $100. It was just a little over $100. But in this economy, given the inflation, given the cost of food and the skyrocketing rent and the rising mortgage rates and so many other things, high gas prices, in this economy, in the Biden-Harris economy, $100 can be a lot for a person who may be struggling financially. I mean, when we're talking about $100, the choice could be $100 worth of automobile service or $100 worth of groceries. I mean, that's the kind of choice. Those are the choices that people can be faced with. I mean, do you buy $100 worth of groceries? Or do you spend $100 on an automobile service? Well, if you choose the groceries, and if you don't do that service, your car may break down, or something may happen that you're not able to drive. And if you're not able to drive, you may not be able to get to work. If you're not able to get to work, you may not be able to earn a paycheck, which means you won't be able to put food on the table. So if you decide to spend $100 on automobile service, and you get that taken care of so that you can drive your vehicle so that you can go to work, but that may mean that you don't have $100 to buy groceries, and now you're hungry, and now you have to go to the food pantry to get some food, or you may end up having to borrow money from a friend, and the friend may not have enough money to lend to you. I mean, these are real choices that Americans are facing in this economy. Mr. Boston writes, I just changed my brakes myself today. Mr. Boston also writes, cost me $800 to do the brakes. Cost you $800 just to do the brakes yourself. Wow. So imagine what that would have cost you if you took it to a dealership, right? I mean, they would charge you. So when you say $800, you're probably referring to just like the parts, right? Not labor, because you did it yourself. But if you took your car to the dealership to get the brake service done, it would probably cost you a lot more, right? Because they would charge you labor, right? That's what I'm guessing, Mr. Boston. So $100, that's what the issue was. The woman at the service center, she was told it would cost, I think it was like $105 or something. And I think it was like $105, if I remember correctly. The conversation was loud. As I said, I was sitting at a distance. I was minding my own business. I had my laptop with me. I was getting some work done. But the conversation in that waiting area was loud enough that I could hear the words. I could hear what she was saying, and she was at a distance. But still, it was not a huge waiting area. So I could hear her, and I think if I remember the figure correctly, the service center staff person said 105, I think $105, and he mentioned plus tax. And the woman also had a reaction to that when she heard plus tax. It's like, oh yeah, I mean, there's tax on everything. And that's a frustration. I mean, as a conservative, I believe in lower taxes. So it was not a huge price tag. It was just a little over $100. But as I said, $100 can be a lot. It can be a difference between whether you get to buy your groceries or not. And so people are having to make tough choices in this economy, in this Biden-Harris economy, in this economy in which we see inflation, high gas prices, everything. Even automobile service has become more expensive. I mean, oil change, the cost of getting an oil change and tire rotation, that has increased significantly over the last few years. So anyway, this little observation, this exchange that I saw between a woman and a service center staff talking about price, the conversation, the woman felt frustrated. She was not happy about the fact that whatever service she was getting would cost $100+. This observation, whatever I saw, highlighted how significant the pain and suffering in this economy is. And so at the DNC, going back to the Democrat National Convention, at the DNC, the attendees and guests and the delegates there, they seem to be in festive mood. They seem to be happy. They seem to be having fun. They seem to be cheering for the very same people who caused the economic mess that we are in. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So at the Democrat National Convention, the people are cheering for the very same people who caused the economic pain and suffering that we now face. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And Kamala Harris is the Democrat nominee for president. My friends, we must always recognize the reality. But many Democrats seem to be detached from reality. At the DNC, these folks at the DNC having fun, cheering, like a big party. They're having fun, and they are detached from reality. They're detached from reality. The reality is that Democrat policies have caused and continue to cause many problems in our economy. Let me repeat. The reality is that the Democrat policies have caused and continue to cause many problems in our economy. There is tremendous hardship that the Americans are facing. And the only way right now to solve these problems, to take our country on the right path, to take our country from the path of poverty and economic crisis to a path that leads to peace and prosperity, the only way to do it, the only way to take our country back on the right track and head towards peace and prosperity is to vote for a Republican for president. Vote for a Republican. Vote for Trump. Mr. Boston writes, I'm a conservative, so you're preaching to the choir. Mr. Boston, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but I have to preach to the choir. And then I also have to reach new people, people who may not be conservatives, people who may be undecided. And I need your help. I need your help, Mr. Boston. I need your help, Laura Floyd. I need your help, Badger Den. I need your help. The conservatives who are here, I need your help. Please share my message. Help me get a bigger audience. Help me reach more people. Share this video, my friends. I have a voice, and I'm going to keep talking. And I'm going to keep talking because I strongly believe in exercising my First Amendment right to free speech. I believe in that. So, for anyone who's new here, who doesn't know much about me, I'm going to post a link to my website here. You can click on it if you want to. It's up to you. That's my website. I do live streams on YouTube. I share my thoughts. I speak, I say what's on my mind, but I also write. I have written, I think, 108 or 109 opinion pieces that have been published. So I have written many letters to editors and op-eds. And these have been published in different publications, different newspapers. And let me just tell you, I'm going to share with you a link. My writings have appeared in Boston Globe, Chicago Tribune, USA Today, New York Post, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, the Capital Times, Wisconsin State Journal, and New York Daily News, Western Journal. So my writings have appeared in many different newspapers and publications because, you know, I exercise my right to free speech, not just through speaking, but also through writing. So a lot of my writings get published in newspapers, but then keeping that aside, I also write blog posts, which I publish directly on my website. And I also have a podcast. The audio version is available in podcast directories like Apple Podcast and Google Podcast. And the video versions of my podcast episodes are available on my YouTube channel. And then I also do the live streams. And when I'm doing the live streams, I like these to be like conversations, although I'm the only one speaking on camera, but I like to see your questions and I want to respond. And so you can check out that website if you want to. And let me also tell you, I have been inviting guests on my channel to do live streams with me. I have had, so far, I think I had like over a dozen guests, maybe 13, if I'm doing the math right. And there were 3 congressional candidates who came and spoke, who had live discussion with me about important issues. 3 congressional candidates from Wisconsin. I had a state Senate candidate. I had incumbent state assembly representatives. Another state senator came. So I mentioned 3 congressional candidates. One of them is an incumbent state senator. He came and um, had a great discussion with me on my channel. Republican Party of Wisconsin, one of the executive committee members of the Republican Party of Wisconsin came and had a great discussion with me on this channel. And so not only do I do solo live streams, I also invite guests. So please stay connected with me. If you have thoughts, if you have suggestions, let me know. If you want to send me names of people I should invite to do live discussions with me, maybe state legislators or Republican Party leaders and officials in the state that you're in, candidates who are running for office in the state, in the city, in the county that you're in. Anyway, I just want my YouTube channel to be a place where I can highlight many conservative voices. Okay, so in addition to me just speaking, I want to invite guests, and I want their voices to be heard also. I want to bring, people, and I want my channel to be a place where many conservative leaders from different parts of Wisconsin, different parts of the country can come and share their views and thoughts and talk about their accomplishments, talk about their priorities and the work that they are doing. They could be elected officials, they could be party leaders, or prominent conservative voices. So just share with me if you have any suggestions. I'm also going to write my email address here, so you can send me an email if you want to. My email address is tausif@tausifanam.net. I'm gonna post this right here. Give me 1 second. tausif@tausifanam.net. So you can send me an email also. I would appreciate that. My friends, do you have any questions for me? Anything else? Okay, let me see a comment here. So a viewer is writing. The viewer's name is That Guy 514, writes, "Glad you want an open discussion in your chat for your gain, but be ignorant enough to ignore those who disagree with you. You can't debate with facts. They aren't in your favor, plain and simple." So That Guy 514, if you would write your first name, it would be easier for me to address you rather than saying That Guy 514. But thanks for writing that comment. And I don't want you to feel that I'm ignoring those who disagree with me. I'm not. I just read your comment, and no, I'm not ignoring you. Let me go back and see if there's anything you mentioned that I missed. So you are writing. So I see your comment. You wrote, "So she knew that she went there. She didn't have money. Who goes to a repair shop expecting to pay less than $100? The average hourly labor rate is $100. Let me tell you, my friend, the service that I got, I paid less than $75. So what you're saying about the minimum hourly labor rate being $100, I don't know what the hourly labor rate is for that service center. I didn't ask them. But just going to an automobile service center doesn't mean that you're going to have to spend $100. I did not have to spend $100, okay? I got an oil change. I got a tire rotation. I got a multi-point inspection done. They also gave me a free car wash, and they also vacuumed my car floor, the carpets, and the total was less than $75. Okay, so I don't know this woman's exact circumstances because I didn't have a conversation with her. I know whatever I heard from across the room because the conversation was loud. But what I'm telling you is just because you're going to an automobile service center doesn't mean that you're going to have to spend a full $100 or more. Okay. Um, as I said, I got an oil change, tire rotation. They gave me a car wash, a complimentary car wash. They vacuumed my carpets. They did a multi-point inspection. At the end, they gave me a report. Everything was in green. They told me that my tires may need to be replaced at some point in the not so distant future, but it's okay right now. So they gave me a vehicle status update. And all of that was less than $75. It was, I think, $73 and some change. So what you're saying about this woman going into the service center and what was the exact comment? Expecting to pay less than $100. Yes, you can go to an automobile service center and expect to pay less than $100. Like I said, I did not pay $100. My bill was $73 and some change. So, and I was there. I could feel the woman's frustration. I could feel the sadness in her voice. I could feel that she was struggling. Like I said, I don't know her exact circumstances. I don't know if she is without a job, if she has a lot of debt that she's struggling with. Did she lose money through some unfortunate incident, or was she in a bad mood because of something else, or is it that she was expecting, maybe she was expecting to pay $80. Maybe she went in there with $80 and they said, hey, no, it's going to be 100 plus. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know the details. But what I'm telling you is that I see and I hear from people, because I talk to a lot of people. I have lots of conversations. I understand how much people are struggling in this economy. And that breaks my heart. That breaks my heart. Now, I went in there with a coupon because I had a coupon for the service that I got. I think it was something like a $10 off coupon. I don't remember exactly what the coupon was, but my service would have been, without that coupon, it would have been $80 plus. It might have been like $85. But because I had a coupon, I ended up paying $73 and some change. So even without that coupon, I could have gotten the service done for less than $100. So, I have to disagree if somebody says, if you're going into an automobile service center, you have to be ready to pay $100. No, that's not correct based on my observation. Like I said, and I'm repeating myself now, I went in there with a coupon. My service was $73 and some change. Without coupon, it would likely be something like $85, still less than 100. So anyway, let's look at the bigger picture. People are struggling. There are food pantries in Wisconsin that are seeing such high demand that they are struggling to meet the demand. More and more people suffering because of food insecurity, because of high grocery prices. People's grocery bills have gone up so much that many Americans in Wisconsin are struggling, and they have to go to a food pantry to seek help, to get some food, because they are running out of money. People are really struggling. And it breaks my heart to see the struggle, the pain, the suffering. And I'm sure there are, those who are watching, I'm sure you know a lot of stories from the state that you are in, or the county or the city that you are in. We see homeless veterans. We see homeless seniors. We see many American families at risk of homelessness. Maybe they are not homeless yet, but maybe they are 15 days away from being homeless just because they are not able to pay the rent, because the rent just went up. There are places where property taxes are going up. And when property taxes go up, that's going to affect homeowners, that's going to affect property owners, but it's also going to affect those who pay rent. Because when property taxes go up, rent will go up. Cost of repairs have gone up. Not just automobile, but like if you have a leaky roof, if there's water dripping from your ceiling after rain, you need to get that roof fixed. You need to get the structure fixed. It's going to cost you a whole lot of money than it did 5 or 6 years ago. Because when Trump was in office, our economy was doing well. People had money. We still had poverty, but it wasn't like this. Back then, the economy was in great shape, heading in the right direction. The economic indicators were showing positive signs. And now, it's such a negative environment. So my friends, cost of repairs have gone up. This was maybe last year. I was talking to I think it was a restaurant owner or a restaurant manager who said that they wanted to build an outdoor patio for the customers who come to the restaurant. They want to have an outdoor seating area, and they just couldn't go forward with the project because of the cost of the materials needed to build that outdoor patio, that deck area. So, small businesses are suffering. Middle class Americans are suffering. Americans who are in the low income category, they are suffering. People in poverty, they are facing tremendous suffering. And it's all because of the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris economic policies. The administration has caused havoc in this economy. Havoc. So, my friends, do you have any more questions for me? Please go check out my website, thatguy514. I see you disagree with me. I disagreed with you, but I would still love to see you come back and watch future live streams that I do. And please don't feel like I'm ignoring your comment or anything. I'm not. Sometimes it's difficult to keep up with all the comments because a lot of comments come in. Sometimes the comments come in as I'm saying something important, so I may miss your comment, and then I try to scroll back and read all the comments, but sometimes it's not possible to read all the comments. So I apologize if you felt ignored. Don't feel ignored. I hope you come back. Feel free to disagree with me. I want to hear your thoughts, and we can have a conversation. So with that, we are just seconds away from the 1 hour time mark. I will be ending this live stream. I appreciate you all joining. Technically, I started this live stream on August 20th, and now it's August 21st because we're past midnight here in the Central Time Zone. So this is Tausif from Madison, Wisconsin. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Please do check out my website. Please send me an email. Please subscribe and stay connected. Laura Floyd, thank you for tuning in. Badger Den, thank you for tuning in. Mr. Boston, thank you so much. That guy 514, thank you. And others who were here. uh, who tuned in and who commented. I appreciate each and every one of you. James White, thank you so much. A viewer named Weird Alien Loner, thank you so much. And others, uh, Vincent, and others who joined today. Thank you very much, okay? I hope you have a wonderful night. Well, it's early hour of the morning because we're past midnight. I hope you sleep well. Thank you so much for tuning in late in the evening. I appreciate it, and I'll be back again with more videos, more live streams. Thank you so very much. Please vote for Trump 2024, and let's help make America great again. Thank you. Bye-bye.